Welcome to Granny Peach's Kitchen. Today we're going to make curry chicken stew. We're going to use chicken legs for this one. We have a pound of carrots that'll be in the stew. We have a pound of sweet colored peppers, the yellow, the red, the orange. You can either get the large or the small, but we need 1 pound. We usually use 1 large onion for this, but we're going to use 2 medium. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of paprika. We're going to use curry. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of that, and we're going to use that in between the two. We're going to use a half a teaspoon of black pepper, a tablespoon of parsley, 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. Chopped onions, we're going to use 2 tablespoons. We're going to use 4 tablespoons total of Worcestershire sauce, but we're going to use 2 for the chicken and 2 for the stew. We're going to use a 32-ounce chicken broth. We're going to use most of that, not quite all of it, but most of it. And we're going to use 2 tablespoons of brown sugar for our stew. And as soon as I get all of this cut up, I'll be right back to show you our finished results with that. And we're going to start the chicken on frying. We're using vegetable oil, and we're going to fry it. I'll show you once all of the seasonings go on. We're going to use half of the seasonings except for the brown sugar on the actual chicken and fry it. And then we're going to use the other portion of it in the actual stew. We'll be right back. Okay guys, this is the stuff that's marinade, and the marinade that we made. And this is the chicken. It's just sitting in there. I'm going to take it over and stick it in the fire. The kids are going to watch the chicken over there and let it sit over there. We're going to fry it with no flour, just plain, just like this, from the marinade to the fryer. The grease is already ready, and we'll be back to let you see how that's working. The grease is good and hot. You can see it moving around. And the Worcestershire sauce is what's going to give it its color. You got to be careful that it's not too hot, because it is. It's pretty hot there. Make sure it's not dripping when you stick it over in there like I just did. Popping pretty good. Those onions popping up. So you can, if you want to, the onions, you can alleviate those. It's up to you, however you want to do it. But I'm going to leave them in because I like the flavor that it gives. And I'll show you what this looks like once it's done. Once it's, you know, I'm not cooking it all the way this way. I'm cooking it most of the way. It's going to cook the rest of the way once it's in the pot with the stew. It only takes a couple minutes to basically brown it is what is all you basically doing. You're not cooking it all the way through. What I do is stick my fork in it so that it'll cook a little bit to the bone, but it really doesn't matter. Because when you stick it in the stew, it's going to cook the rest of the way, because you're going to leave it in that stew for a while. These are all of the vegetables cut up, the onions and the peppers. I used all of the chopped onions when I was seasoning the chicken, all of the parsley, and all of the Worcestershire sauce. And the half a teaspoon of kosher salt. And I have the broth that's left over from that. I saved that because I'm going to put that in the stew instead. This is how your chicken should look when you get ready to pull it out. This is all of the chicken. And we're going to put this over in the stew. Ooh-wee, look at this chicken. So we're going to take the broth and everything and put it over in the pot and start the rest of the process. Hey guys, we're back. We're going to start with our onion powder and mix this over in here. garlic powder with the broth. We've already poured the whole broth in there. We put all of it in there. See, I had left some of my onion powder in the container, so I'm going to put that over in there. We got the rest of the pepper. We got the rest of the curry, and I think I'm going to add some more on top of everything. Couple pinches of the kosher salt. We're going to put all of our peppers down in there. Put all of our onions down in there. Start dropping our chicken over in there. That chicken sure looks good. I just went on and poured the whole chicken broth in there. To make sure it was enough. I noticed a lot of chicken. Probably should have put a little more chicken broth in there. Uh-oh. Take my carrots and pour them over in there. Take 1 tablespoon of this brown sugar right this second and put over it. And I'm going to let it cook down for a second and I'm going to come right back. So remember that broth that I had? I mixed the other tablespoon of brown sugar with it. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to pour it over everything. And you see all of the stuff still in there. The parsley, the onion, and everything else is over in there now. And the Worcestershire sauce. So that second batch of the Worcestershire sauce is mixed in with that broth that I just did there. And so is some of the grease that was left over from the chicken, because I put the chicken straight on the plate. So there was a little bit of grease at the bottom. I took that grease and I poured that grease over in that broth and mixed it up with that brown sugar. And we're going to let this cook for a minute. Guys, I took another tablespoon of curry and I poured it over everything. Now I'm going to close the top down and let it simmer down, and we're going to see what we come up with. Okay guys, about 20 minutes into it, 15-20 minutes into it. Give it a good stir so the meat that's on the top can get down in the bottom. Bring those veggies up, those onions and peppers up. You want the chicken to cook and cook till it's off the bone a little bit. And keep it covered. Keep it covered while you're cooking it. So everything can be cooking at once. Push it down in there as much as you can. And then recover. This is what the chicken curry stew looks like when it's done. We plated it over rice. When the meat is falling off the bones like this, it's done. Yours may take an hour to cook. Yours may take 45 minutes to cook. Yours might take an hour and 15 minutes. It just depends on how much chicken you actually have in there. But let all of your pieces simmer down like this. Okay guys, we're tasting this chicken, curry chicken.
Okay. I already ate it.
You already ate it, the whole thing? Chris, go back in.
No, not the whole thing. I already ate some.
John, have a blessed day.
Tell me what you think, ladies.
Very good.
I think
Yes, it's not
10
dry
out of
like
10.
other chicken.
Exactly. 10 out of 10.
You said 10 out of 10?
better than Captain J's.
Come on, Skip. That's
You're
not
doing
even the
Captain
same.
J.
Not boomerang
Disrespectful.
chicken.
You doing? Oh, you got a bit on your like next to your eyebrow.
You didn't,
Take
Chris.
off your eyebrows.
Okay, so y'all said, is it a good or not?
It's
Better than
great.
Captain J's.
See, he doing Captain J. wrong.
It's very good.
You like
than chicken poppers.
But it's not better than KFC.
It's better than KFC. I'm sorry.
No, it's better than KFC.
I only had KFC twice, okay? So,
You nasty.
In your whole life, you only had KFC twice?
Look, I have Popeyes because I like that chicken.
Well, this is
sandwich.
not the same kind of chicken. It's not fried.
It's way better.
Who did? Chris, I'm listening.